Now, here's Ed Bernstein.
If your home is anything like mine, the most popular question every day is, what do you want to do for dinner? What are we going to eat? And here to answer that question, 2020 edition, John Curtas's book, Eating Las Vegas, and John himself is going to solve that dilemma, right?
For everybody out there, I'll tell them exactly where to go eat dinner tonight, or lunch.
Yes. And every year you come up with the Bible of where to go, where to eat in Las Vegas. And why do you have to do it every year?
Well, because Las Vegas is changing so rapidly. I mean, there are 17 new restaurants in this book from what this is the 8th edition, from the 7th edition, because especially in the last few years, we have blown up as far as local restaurants and changes off the Strip. The Strip is fairly settled. I mean, there's some good places come and go, but off the Strip, downtown, Chinatown, Summerlin, there's all kinds of things happening. So to keep up with it, to keep it current, we're publishing every year now. And this year has a lot of tried and true places, but I said 17 new ones.
And it's about time. You know, when I look at some of your past books, it seemed like the Strip number of pages, dominated. Thank you. And there wasn't that many local spots. Now it seems like we're expanding out, right?
The first edition of this book was 2011. It had 3 or 4 local restaurants in it. This, out of the 52, this has 28 local restaurants in it.
More than half.
Yeah, more than half. More than half are now local restaurants. And I mean, the Strip is still our Manhattan. You know, it's our New York City.
Right.
It's where all the big stuff goes on. But local chefs, young chefs, have really made their mark in Las Vegas over the last few years. And you don't have to drive and park and go through all the hassle of the Strip to eat a really good food, as good as you can get in any city in America. Yeah.
So is the day of the celebrity chef, is that kind of past now?
Thank God. Yes. Yeah. Extremely yes. I mean, there are a few that hold on. Gordon Ramsay's still holding on. Bobby Flay. Gordon Ramsay, of course, has 24/7 advertisements going on Fox, with all his shows. But they don't have the traction they did before. They may have made Las Vegas back in the 90s, but the younger people, the millennials, the Gen Xers, aren't looking for some absentee celebrity chef anymore. They're looking for real experiences with a restaurant that's locally owned, with a chef they can talk to, that is passionate about food. And that sort of experience you can't get on the Strip. It's very, very, I mean, you can get it on the Strip, but it's very rare.
It's rare because it's a matter of consistency. As soon as you open up multiple branches of a restaurant, I mean, you just can't be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay, for example, I don't want to pick on him, but all of these guys, I mean, they're just lending their name to these places. They're franchising their name or doing some sort of licensing deal. Mm-hmm. And the restaurants, like the Ramsay restaurants, are really Caesar's Palace restaurants. They're not Gordon Ramsay restaurants. They just pay Gordon Ramsay to slap his name on the door, so the people from Oklahoma will show up and go, "Hey, let's go eat a Gordon Ramsay restaurant." But I mean, it's really not Gordon Ramsay. You have as much chance of seeing him there as you do of finding the two of us at a monster truck rally.
Well, let's talk about some of the local ones that you brought up.
Okay, so
we have
some of my
Hatsumi.
favorite. Most of these are new. I think we're talking about some of the great new places.
And this is a downtown restaurant.
Hatsumi is great. Okay, it's a Japanese, what they call a robatayaki or yakitori restaurant. Mm-hmm. They do skewers. You can see those are chicken skewers. They call those yakitori skewers. They also do some tartars. I mean, it's kind of Japanese food. That's called an okonomiyaki, cabbage omelet. This is very much upscale food, the way you find in Shibuya or Shinjuku in Japan. So Hatsumi is run by the same guy who owns Other Mama, Dan Cromer, who's not Japanese. I kid him, he's just a white boy, but he hits it on this thing, and people love it. They got great sake, great cocktails. So Hatsumi, it's downtown in Ferguson's, and it's one of those places that, for a unique dining experience, it checks all the boxes.
20, 30 years ago, if I would have asked you about a restaurant like this, would you have had as much information as you have now? Or let me rephrase the question. When you're learning about a different country's food,
Yeah.
how do you go about learning that? I mean,
Well, now it's easy. That's a great question but now everybody's an expert. I mean, 25 years ago, I was the expert. Okay, 'cause,
Right.
I mean, 20 years ago, and not just me, but the other people. But you had to travel a lot, to really talk about Japanese food. You had to go to Tokyo or Japan. To really know French food, you have to go to Paris and Italy. You need to go to Italy, same with Spain, Morocco, you name it. That's what I tried to spend the 80s and 90s doing. But now you can pretty much.
It's coming to you.
Yeah, it's coming to you. And I mean, you can find out if you want to know what I just mentioned, okonomiyaki, which is it's a Japanese cabbage pancake, and it's a specialized kind of a bar food, pub food in Japan. Well, that was unheard of in America 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. If you'd put it on a menu 5 years ago, no one would know what it is. Now, the places in New York and Los Angeles, they have these things. People Google it, people see it on Instagram, and now everybody knows what okonomiyaki is. Well, not everybody, but people who are kind of interested in Japanese food, you can read about it and know what you're getting before you walk into the restaurant. And that was not the case even just a dozen years ago.
Yeah, you mentioned Googling.
Yeah.
When I walk into a restaurant with one of my kids, the first thing they'll do is they'll get on their phones and
Look
go
at Instagram.
or Yelp,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
they look at comments and pictures. I want to look at all the pictures of the dishes, right?
Yeah.
Right? Is that a good thing or no?
Well, let me tell you a little anecdote about that. You'll love this. I've been writing about restaurants since 1994. So back in the early 2000s, around maybe 2004, 2005, which isn't that long ago, I took my mother out to back in Atlanta, and I was thinking about starting a blog then. I started taking pictures with an old point and shoot little Minolta camera. She looks at me and she says, "Johnny, why would anybody want to see a picture of food? Why is anyone interested in what you're eating?" And I went, "Oh, Mom, this is going to be the next big thing." And sure enough, by 2012, half a dozen years later, everybody's looking at pictures of food. And that's how restaurants sell themselves. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, there was a big thing about how restaurants were going to ban cameras in their restaurants. Now, you go to these great restaurants in New York and Paris, and they have lights on the table to light their dishes better, so you can put it on Yelp or Instagram.
Amazing.
So all this has just happened really in 10 years. Yeah.
I mean, even when you go into Facebook, I would say the largest category of photographs that you view of other people is food.
It's food, yeah. And my mother, who's, God bless her, she's 95 and still alive, I always tell her, "Remember, Mom, when you told me that?" You couldn't believe it. She goes, "Yeah, that seems so weird to me." I went, "Well, the whole world does it now."
Did you get interested in food? As a kid, was your mom
she was a terrible cook. My mother was terrible cook.
Well, maybe that got interested.
That's what got me interested in food. My mother, and she admits it. I was a 50s kid, 50s and 60s. It was frozen dinner. She had like 4 things she made for us kids, you know what I mean? She didn't like to cook. She saw her mother making bread from scratch and, and doing everything. And so by the 50s and 60s, they were done with that. So I got into food because my dad used to take us to good restaurants, and I used to eat them going, "Man, I wish my mother cooked like this." And that was when I was like 10, 12 years old. So that's what really got me started,
Cipriani,
Oh,
famous
Cipriani.
New York restaurant, right?
Well, it started in Venice, actually.
Venice,
Italy,
right,
and then, but it's been in New York since the late 80s, yes. Yeah. So my favorite lunch spot in town. Power lunch spot. It's now resetting the paradigm for power lunches in Las Vegas. You see all the movers and shakers there. You see the Ed Bernsteins there.
But why? Why is it?
There's their halibut. I think it's a wonderful piece of halibut.
How did it become that? In light of you were talking about franchises of restaurants are not typically as good as the original.
Well, first of all, it's not run by a celebrity chef. It's not a licensing deal. Cipriani, the family, still runs. I think they have 20 restaurants around the world, maybe more, but they still own them all. It's not just like the Gordon Ramsay thing or the Giada thing where they just. Secondly, the template. It's very simple Northern Italian food, not super showy. Very simple pastas, very good pizzas too. But on a level that anybody can appreciate. Like everything's fresh made in the kitchen. but you don't have to be a super gastronome to love it. You can take your family there and your kids there, they'll find something. And it's an elegant restaurant too. They nail it with design at Cipriani, with the white tablecloths. The staff looks great. It looks fancier than it really is, but it gives you a sense of comfort when you walk through the door, which is what you don't get in a lot of modern restaurants.
Right.
So I love Cipriani.
Of course, I'm sure there's a price to match. Right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, as I tell Cipriani, if you take a crowd, take 4 people, it's a lot cheaper. 2 people, the food's going to be pretty pricey. You take 4 people, most of the dishes are for 4 people, and it's great. But it's also all a la carte, so you can go in there and get 2 dishes and get out. You don't have to throw down $200 to have a meal there. You get 2 people and get out of there for $80 if they want.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Palms Casino has had good days and bad days in the restaurant world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at one time there was a very 9 was a very hot restaurant.
Hottest place in town for a long
Right,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then they rebuilt that into Scotch 80s.
Yeah, Scotch 80
Opened up
Prime,
as
which is great.
Yeah.
Has a newer chef that just came on board, and it also has Vetri, which is what's really kind of my restaurant of the year last year. Vetri is on the top floor where the Andres used to be, and there's the roasted goat and there's that tonarelli pasta. These are kind of like thick ravioli with pork cheek. They do very elevated, upscale Italian food. The way that, let's say, a well-heeled gourmets in Milan eat. That's what Vetri's going for. And it's pricey, but it's beautiful too. I mean, it looks out over the entire strip. I've told people I think it may be the most beautiful Italian restaurant in America. I mean, you get the entire strip before you. Wonderful bar. I mean, it's you want to blow people's socks off when you take them out to dinner. Go take them to Vetri.
Now, you mentioned roasted goat.
Roasted goat, yeah, which is kosher, by the way. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But with the trend being vegan and vegetarian
What's that? Well,
not your trend.
Well, what are these things of which you speak?
So when somebody comes up with a dish like roasted goat, I mean, that's taking a chance, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah. Again, they do a whole fish. They do the roasted goat. That's what I love about Vetri. It's not the same old salmon, chicken, steak.
Right.
I mean, he's trying to do some really unique stuff. And but again, most of these restaurants, the really good ones, Cipriani too. There's a lot of meat, a lot of protein-heavy stuff, but you can eat there as a vegan or a vegetarian if you want. They don't always advertise it, but there are completely vegetarian pastas here, and they do some wonderful vegetable dishes. So you can take people there, and something for everybody in that respect.
John, have you ever eaten the Impossible Burger at Burger King?
Well, you lost me at Burger King, but no. So have you?
I have. And I quite literally could not tell the difference between a hamburger and the Impossible Burger.
Right, and you were really thinking about it.
You put enough pickles and ketchup and bread on, it all tastes the same, right?
That's true. Yeah. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll do that for lunch.
But how about the other one? Forget about Burger King. How about some of the other ones? Like at Whole Foods, they sell Beyond Meat and some of these other brands.
I just don't like anything that pretends to be something it isn't.
Right.
When they go here, this is like a chicken substitute made out of tofu.
Right.
It's like, there are great vegetarian cuisines in the world. Chinese, Indian, Thai. There are wonderful cooks who do put proteins to the side. And those are how you should eat, not fake food. But food, if they ever say this is like Impossible Burger or tofu chicken, anything that tries to gain credibility by attaching itself to something it isn't, it usually doesn't taste very good. But that's not to put down vegetarianism, because I think you can eat very well if you know what you're going
just
for.
Just eat authentic is what you're saying.
Authentic food from people that have been dealing with it in their cultures for centuries.
What is the Rooster Boy Cafe?
Oh, I love Rooster Boy Cafe. I love Rooster Boy.
And this is up at Desert Shores, right?
It is a restaurant about the size of this table. Okay, and there's one of their pancakes. There's one of the flatbread. I think it's their shredded duck flatbread. Rooster Boy Cafe is a tiny restaurant. I think it's 400 square feet, with a little counter and about 4 tables outside.
Wow.
It's run by a woman named Sonia El Awal, and she is She is a chef, a pastry chef, renowned in New York City. When she came out here and opened up, I had New York City chefs writing me saying, wait till you taste her food. And she runs this tiny cafe with her and one other person. She hand makes everything, only open for breakfast and lunch. She does all her own baking, her breads, her croissants. She does challah, and for the holidays. And everything is made right by her there. I mean, she works like a slave to get this stuff done, but when it comes out, it just blows you away how good it is. It's the #1 foodie destination for breakfast and lunch in town, especially, I'd say, breakfasty kind of food. Yeah.
What's the temperature lately of the restaurant industry as a business, as an industry? I mean, is it healthy compared to 10, 15 years ago? Is it? I mean, people always say, hey, the most difficult business is a restaurant business. More of them go out of business per year than any other retail business. Is that still true?
Well, I think we're in a boom time economically, so restaurants are reflecting that. More and more people want to open restaurants. There's 2 big places about to open on Main Street downtown, one called Main Street Provisions, the other is going to be Good Pie, kind of a large pizza restaurant. So everyone's trying to hop on the bandwagon. So restaurants are hot right now. Las Vegas is hot. Downtown Las Vegas is hot. Chinatown is where it's hottest. I mean, everybody, the whole world is coming to our Chinatown now, both for Asian food and non-Chinese food, like Sparrow and Wolf and Mordeo, places like that are in the book, by the way. And yes, but yes, it's still a tough business because you're dealing with people, what they put in their mouths. You know, people are so picky about what they eat. I wish the world was not picky about what they eat, but it's like it's the first thing we ever have control over. So everyone would. What's the first? You said where's to eat? What's the second question when families talk about where do we eat? The second
what are we going to have?
Am I going to like that? Well, the point is, folks, take a chance. You know what I mean? You never know what you're like until you try everything.
Yeah, I'm laughing because, like, as a kid, I remember ordering with my parents. It was a simple 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I mean, you ordered. Getting around the table now, ordering a dinner can take you 15 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
And everybody, and menu indecision, and this and that, and negotiations between the table.
Hold this, add this, put this on the side.
Right, I'm not sure. Is there tarragon in that? I don't like tarragon. It's like, just eat it with tarragon.
Right.
Whatever.
And okay, so that's Rooster Boy Cafe. Right?
Rooster Boy Cafe,
okay.
Wonderful breakfast and lunch place, great pastries, great everything.
The Black Sheep in Rhodes Ranch area.
Black Sheep, local favorite, little chef who's like the size of this coffee cup, named Jamie Tron. There's her roasted duck. She's a Vietnamese Chinese chef. There's her salmon skin tacos. Beautiful bar, wonderful wine list, really well-priced libations there. Small local place, crowded all the time. Do a fantastic weekend brunch. I see a whole roasted fish. She comes from a family of chefs and blends American food, Chinese food, and Vietnamese food as well as anything I've had in town. And a real foodie favorite is the Black Sheep. I wish it was closer to my house. It's way out there on Warm Springs. I don't get out there too often.
And look, Thai food is
it's always
popular.
That's a double entendre there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, do you like it hot?
Oh,
spicy?
Oh, yeah.
Spicier than
my wife goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, my wife goes 2 to 3, and I'm like, no, 7, 8.
And Weira is
Thai Kitchen.
Thai Kitchen.
And it is a beautiful
in Chinatown.
And an offshoot of there's been Weira Thai on West Sahara. It's been open, I think, 8 or 9 years now, and they opened an offshoot in this brand new Shanghai Plaza, and you can see there's their Tom Kha Kai.
So, but Thai food is meant to eat spicy.
Thai food is meant to eat spicy. If you don't get it at least at some level of pepper that will excite your mouth and your taste buds, you're not getting the full experience. So Thai, I mean, you don't have to go what I call Bangkok hot. I've been to some. There's the crispy prawns at We're Thai Kitchen
looks
that are great,
delicious,
and it's a very pretty restaurant. A lot of these Asian restaurants sometimes are done on the cheap. They really decorated it nicely. It's a nice upscale. I mean, the prices aren't upscale, but it's very pretty inside, and the service is great. I've really never had bad service in a Thai restaurant. I really haven't.
Really?
No, Thai people are just this friend. They're the Italians of Asia. I think everybody loves them.
And speaking of Thai, like for years, the most famous Thai restaurant was Lotus. Siam,
it's still there.
Which had a fire in a commercial center, burned down.
Moved out. Yeah.
Moved out. How's the food now?
The food is, I think it's better than ever. It was Desert Companion's Restaurant of the Year, the new one on East Flamingo,
Right.
just in this past 2019. I think the food actually improved. With the fire. I think they got a better space. They dressed it up, and they got more focused with the kitchen. And it's still one of the best wine lists in America.
And on our list for this morning, Old Soul, which is down there by the Smith Center, right?
Old Soul is where you go to eat when you're going out at the Smith Center. It is right there in the. It's buried inside that market center, World Market Center. But the food, there's the hanger steak. Natalie Young is the chef. There's their fried green tomatoes. She does a lot of, I would say, kind of American food, a sort of Southern American food, but in a very upscale kind of way. Does great sandwiches at lunch, beautiful soups. It's one of those little hidden gems. It's hidden in more ways than one because it's buried in the World Market Center.
Right.
But it's only you can walk across the street to Smith Center. So I send people there all the time.
And easy to get to if you work downtown.
Yeah, easy to get to work downtown and just great. I mean, it's got a funky vibe. I mean, Old Soul is one of my new favorites too.
Look, while I have you here, I'm going to ask you for your recommendation on certain types of food.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Pizza.
I'm ready.
Pizza. Who's got the best pizza in town? I'm making my own notes because I'm going to go.
Pizzeria Manzu.
And where's that?
Pizzeria Manzu on West Flamingo. It's in the old. Remember the old Nora's space?
Yes.
It's in the old Nora's space. It's the same family. They run the new Nora's 2 blocks away. Pizzeria Manzu, I think, is the most interesting pizza. Second place there would be Good Pie, which is
that the one that's going to open?
It's about to open, but they have a little place near the pawn shop, and so Good.
Are you getting hungry, Troy?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, he was looking at all the photos. Okay.
Okay.
Steak.
Steak.
What a great
Bazaar
steak.
meat. Bazaar meat.
Bazaar. That's in SLS.
Yeah, SLS, and well, it's 1 and 2. It's like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. It's cut in the Venetian and Bazaar meat in the SLS, or whatever they call it these days. The new program.
Jose Andres.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, that's we got. How about pasta?
Pasta for unique pasta, Vetri. For everyday pasta, Ferraro's.
You like Ferraro's?
And I'm not saying it's not unique.
Right.
Ferraro's is more across the board. Vetri does very specific, upscale, modern Italian pastas.
Right.
Across pastas, but Ferraro's to me has something for everybody. It checks all the boxes. It does.
Also, long time Las Vegas institution.
Also on,
Right.
and believe it or not, I love the pastas at Cipriani too. We already talked about Cipriani.
Right, yeah.
I love the pastas at Cipriani. So those are okay. Give me one more here.
Sushi.
Oh, sushi's easy. Yui sushi. Y-U-I. Yui and kabuto. Y-U-I.
U-I.
And then kabuto. The other one's called kabuto. They're like a quarter mile from each other.
And this is obviously in
On
Chinatown.
Spring Mountain Road.
Yeah.
But this isn't all you can eat roll stuff. This isn't California roll. This is Japanese style sushi. And they serve it the way you heard that Jiro's Dreams of Sushi, where they cut it and they serve it one piece at a time.
Yes.
This is the kind of sushi.
Yeah.
But this is what sushi snobs go for. This kind of sushi. If you want your California rolls and screaming orgasm plates and all that they crap, that's not the place.
You're not big on revolving sushi.
No. I don't like revolving anything. Okay, if it's moving and it says all you can eat are revolving, include me out. As Yogi Berra
But it's
said.
pretty big business in Japan.
Oh, they love it, but it's downscale stuff. Okay,
Right.
I mean, anybody, anytime you say all you can eat revolve, they have to cheapen their ingredients to make their profit. So, they don't know whether you're going to eat 2 pieces or 20 pieces. So they got to make sure those pieces are pretty cheap so they don't lose money if you decide to eat 20 of them. So, and that's not the way I like to eat anymore.
So under that,
especially with seafood, Ed. Seafood, you should
you should be fresh.
Yeah, seafood, you should go right up there with cost.
Yeah. So I assume then that you stay away from buffets, and they're for the tourists, right?
Well,
is there a good one in town?
The better hotels have the better buffets.
Right.
Cosmo has a good buffet. Wynn has a good buffet. Bellagio has a good buffet. But I give buffets a pass on this. Our foreign visitors who don't speak a lot of English, it makes it very easy for them to enjoy eating. So I give them a pass there. But if you speak English and read English, you ought to go to a real restaurant. Okay?
This is only for me. Deli. What's a good deli in town? Are we still lacking a little bit in that?
This is where delis go to die. This town was founded by Jewish people, and we don't have any good Jewish food here. It's sad. I don't like the Bagel Cafe, so don't get me started on that.
I was on social media, and you can order food from like New York, from a deli in New York, get it shipped to your house in Las Vegas. So you ever do that?
Yes, I get from
Gold Bellies.
I get Gold Belly. I get Zingerman's.
Right.
Zingerman's from Ann Arbor. So yeah, and I get Langer's corned beef that way.
Right.
I get Katz's corned, not Katz's, but Langer's from LA.
And is it good? Right?
It's good. Yeah. You want good deli, order it online, because you're right. This is sad how bad. And Cantor's didn't make it at Tivoli Village. They're closing, or they're already.
Why is that?
I think it's because old Jews are dying out. I mean that sounds kind of weird, but it was a certain type of food. Way my dad used to like the prime rib, and the old Jews like their things, and the corned beef and the half sours. And
it's too much food, maybe. Yeah.
It's too much, but it kind of represented largesse, to immigrants and Eastern European Jewish people, and they've sort of they're fading out as a force in eating out, and their kids don't want to eat a corned beef sandwich at that stall. I do. I think you do, because you run all the time. You can afford to eat it. My stomach makes it kind of hard.
Eating Las Vegas. I have 2 copies. I keep 2 copies. I keep one in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I keep one in my car. Because I have found that I'm in my car most of the time with my wife saying, okay, where do we go around here to eat?
Thank you.
So
everybody should learn from Ed Bernstein.
Right,
okay?
because you have it divided by maps, by east, west, strip.
I have my top 52.
Right.
And then the back of the book, the last side of the book, is all mapped and all in neighborhoods. Downtown, Chinatown, West Side, you name it. The only places that don't have much traction are Henderson, which is still a restaurant desert, and down the south.
Right, and I was looking, where's your website on this book?
It's probably listed somewhere. Eatinglv.com.
Eatinglv.com is where you buy it, right?
Yeah. You can buy it at eatinglv.com. You can get it on Amazon. It will soon be in Barnes & Noble. It only came out 2 weeks ago. So you can get it on Amazon.com. It has it right now.
Thank you, John Curtas.
Bon appetit to all. Thank you.